Yeah. How are we all doing today? Sorry about the slight delay. I basically woke up a bit later. Well, I was a bit slow having breakfast and coffee, so there was a slight delay there. So we've got some bales to make today. Now I am running around faster than I should be right now, but that's fine. We'll deal with that in a bit. I need to also move the potatoes. Let's turn off the blurs. First things first. The doits. The now traditional get the doits going at the start. There we go. Doits is on the go. Hopefully to the correct waypoint. Yep. Good. Doits is on the go. And we're going to start now. And I was in Frontier's Discord helping Mod Addict and JDB14. JDB14 is trying to learn to make maps, so I was giving him some quick advice there. And Mod Addict, I was giving some help with selling silage bales at the BGA. Lonoc has an update. Yes, I don't need to update myself, but it does have an update to I think fix some small stuff. It's a good server. Frontier's Discord is one of the friendliest and the best I'm in. Personally, and I'm gonna be biased, I like my own too. I think my own is probably my favorite, but Frontiers as a non-mine Discord is definitely like super friendly and super helpful to anybody who wants to get into modding. If you got a question that you can't find the answer to on Google, they'll probably be able to answer it there. And somebody's going to be able to, you know, give you the advice you need at some point or other. Especially if you're looking into getting into mapping. Sir Lonoc was updated like 3 or 4 days ago. Yeah, I think it was the console update going live today. But whenever a console update goes live, it also pings up as a PC update. Mine and Frontiers is the best you're in. See, mine's built around community. Like, that's the entire reason I have the Discord and a lot of the stuff. Frontiers is built around trying to help people get into mapping and modding and giving them access to, I guess, resources and the ability to effectively ask questions from experts, or ask questions to experts in a very, very easy manner. Mine is just ask an idiot anything, basically. But yeah, Frontier's Discord is amazing. So useful if you're wanting to get into modding at all. Or if you're having trouble with a mod, they'll usually be able to help you out. Especially if you're making one. If you're having trouble with a mod that you've downloaded, the usual answer is, well, you've downloaded a crap mod. Hello, Dara. How am I? I'm doing good. Hey, CD. How's my day? My day's good. I'm not long out of bed. Got out of bed like an hour ago. Giants is okay, except for all the fights and nonsense that goes on. I don't like all the drama that goes on in Giants. I'll be very blunt about that. Do I play Total War? Yes. Okay, well, I kind of alternate what strategy games I play. Lately it's been a lot of Crusader Kings, but yeah, I do play Total War. The one that I tend to keep going back to is Rome Total War. I quite enjoy Medieval 2 Total War as well. But Rome is the one that I just keep... I cannot get myself away from Rome Total War. That is one of my favorite games of all time. It's unusual to be interviewed. I must watch that, actually. I was talking to him about it, and from what he was saying, it was a lot of fun. Isn't there a new Rome Total War on Steam pre-order? If there is, I'm not getting it anytime soon. There's a lot of stuff that kind of I want more than a new Total War game, including 2 Point Hospital and FS19. Like, FS19 is really my #1 priority financially. I'm just gonna check if there's a tractor down on the Bale. There is not. Yeah, FS19, like, when it comes to money, that's what I'm going to be getting first and foremost. And after that, I get to buy myself some nice things. You definitely need to get rid of your derpy driving. Just imagine if he did one with me. Which I do need to arrange with him at some point, because like I don't know what he could ask me that you guys haven't already, but I mean, I could definitely do an interview with him. Hey GP, how you doing? £30 in savings. Yeah, that's after I pay back the overdraft that I got in the bank. I didn't even realize I'd overdrawn my account. Whoops. I got that in the mail yesterday. Hello, Mr. RainbowDave. Your account is overdrawn by €6. Oh. Oh, I'm that broke. I'm doing good, GP. Is folded or unfolded? Is there a way to tell? Hey, TJC. So the news came out yesterday from Oxford and David that Shamrock Valley is finished being made, which is just amazing news. That means it is one step closer to all of us getting our grubby mitts on it, and that is that's gonna be a nice day when that happens. We get to have our grubby mitts on the the map for the first time and ruin it. Question 1: why do I break the game so much? Because it's actually a hobby of mine, believe it or not, Adam. One of my favorite hobbies is just messing about and breaking things. If you ask Sim and Landy, they will tell you that we play Wildlands for a bit, and every time they told me to be stealthy, I would launch RPGs and basically just grab a machine gun and go mental. Because that's not how the game's intended to be played. I like playing games in ways that just you're not supposed to. That's why you'll see me doing weird stuff in Farm Sim so much. It's like, I know this isn't intended, that's exactly why I'm going to do it. So you always do, yeah, I mean, it's just more fun to play the games in ways that you're really not supposed to, and ways that are not necessarily intended. Hello, Yuso. Because if you play games in unintended ways, you get unintended results, and sometimes they're really fun. Hello, John, as well. So today we have a lot of bailing to do. We got to bail up field 10. That's basically our job for today. And hopefully we'll get onto bale loading and bring some of the bales over to the cows and the pigs today as well. So close to my sub goal? Not really. 19 subs is a surprising amount. I got a bit of an insight into the channel here. Yesterday I got 14 subscribers, so there is a chance we'll hit 8400 today, but yesterday I streamed Lone Oak, which is a much more popular map than the Insanity Challenge. How's the challenge going? It was going well until we got rain. In the last... Was it the last stream we got rain, or the stream before? The last in-game day for sure, and that really threw a spanner in the works. Because we basically had to stop everything and panic Bale. And then get the bales into storage as quickly as we possibly could. So I had to kind of screw the rules. I'm using an autoloader to get round bales in. Because I need the bales more than I need the rules. Now luckily we'd only just started field 10 at that point, and there's no rain forecast for this in-game day, so we can kind of take things a bit more easily this time around. No panic baling, no autoloaders. We will do it all properly this time. Oh no, not again. It seems that every time I'm near these boxes, something goes wrong. Hope I do. I hope I do too. I hope I get like all the subs ever, but yeah. I kind of prefer having, and this might sound weird, I kind of prefer having like smaller streams, even though they make me less money, because it means I get to talk to you guys a bit easier. Big mega streams are fun, and you know, they're awesome, but it's very hard to keep up with chat when there's like 50-60 people trying to talk all at once. So let's continue the baling, or finish the baling as it should be, hopefully. Now the pain of this, and the problem I'm going to have, is that I won't be able to get the pigs up to 100% at all. Because I didn't grow any canola. I, for some reason, thought canola wasn't required for pigs. I'm just going to get that up to my usual standards. There we go. Standards. Configuration. We're not going to get the pigs up to 100% because I don't have any canola. I didn't realize when I was seeding that canola was required for pigs. If I did, I probably would have seeded this field in canola. I'm ever going to get a server again for MP streams? I don't know. It really depends on how exactly multiplayer works in 19. Evening, Bale. I hope my advice to JDB in the Frontier Discord wasn't too far off correct. If you want to start mapping, do trial and error edits of maps. If you break something, then at least you'll know that you've broken something, because the map will stop working correctly. And stuff might go really weird, like flying sheep. In the sheep pens. Or as GD managed to get somehow cows that have exploded all over the map. I still don't know how he managed that one. Simulate once managed to get chickens that had invaded the entire map while he was making one of his maps. And yeah, just things can go wrong in the weirdest and funniest ways when you're working on maps in G. You learn a lot, yeah. While there are no good edit tutorials out there for mapping, and I hope that changes in FS19. I know Giants are working on tutorials for modding. I don't know what exactly those tutorials are going to entail. Mapping is kind of a really different beast, because you can learn just by breaking maps. And that's why like editing is so good as a resource, because you break something, you know what you're broken. Is Sim still making a map? No, he's just too busy for that. He's got a lot of stuff coming up, and he just doesn't have the time to be making a map anymore. Much the same as myself. I mean, I'm struggling to do all the YouTube things. I did finally start writing down the script for that roleplay series. I need to figure out how long that's gonna actually be once I need to start recording actual footage for that as well tonight, so that I can figure out how long what I've got scripted already actually will take. or we'll film the video, because I want that video to be 15-20 minutes long. Yeah, I'm completely with you, Bill. Like, it's pointless doing tutorials at this point because FS19 is so close, and anything that is said or done in a tutorial now is probably going to be obsolete in 4 months' time. 4 or 5 months' time. No limits. $1 trillion. Yeah, I mean the tutorials should give a much better idea, but at the same time, there's a lot that it's 4 months today to FS19, isn't it? Yeah, 4 months to the day. Wow, that was that was a surprisingly good, just random number I pulled out of my ass. You're wrong, Little Cash Money. FS19 was originally going to be on October, the end of October. The traditional release date for Farm Sim is the last Tuesday in October. But Giants actually delayed to allow them to just work on it a bit longer than usual and get a bit of extra polish in, get a few extra fixes in. I think they're, from what I've heard, they're running into problems with some of the new features. They're trying to do a lot, so problems are, you know, gonna happen. Bill, I think everybody in the Farm Sim community is waiting with bated breath to get their grubby mitts on Shamrock. It's one of the most hotly anticipated maps I've seen in a while. Yeah, I'm with you there, Eric. I always say this when a game gets delayed. It's much better that they take that time now and fix the problems than release it like Bethesda do. Nobody wants a Bethesda release. Or a Ubisoft release, where it's just this bug-ridden nightmare. Where nobody has a face. Oh, Ubisoft, you geniuses. How did you manage to release a game like that? If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Assassin's Creed Unity, a Ubisoft game, on release, had a bug where everybody lost their face. So it was just these horrific eyes and mouths talking to you. Yeah, CD. It looks like they've changed so much about modding in 19. It's basically, I think there's going to be a lot of people needing to relearn modding. I think there's going to be quite a delay between the game coming out and mods starting to release, just because there's so much that needs to be learned and relearned and figured out. And I wouldn't be too surprised if it's a couple of months between release and the first mod that isn't by like one of Giant's selected few that they've been giving help to, because they can't help everybody at the same time. They have to select, you know, people they know will, number one, accept the help, and number two, will take that help on board. Hello, Lewis. So when I say Giant selected few for help modding, it's literally the few modders that Giants know are good enough that they'll implement the suggestions and new requirements fairly quickly and easily. PDA for letting, very nice. How close is that to done, Lewis? Out of interest. Whoop, there's autosave. It's past already, good lord. Hello, Duck Kenny. Is it seriously past already? I've been streaming for 20 minutes already. You know those days where you're just like really enjoying something and you don't notice time going by? Yeah, this is one of them apparently. I once played a game for 8 hours straight and thought I was playing for like half an hour. So, it's not rare. Time seems so fast today. It does. What's specs on my computer? Put exclamation mark specs into the chat. Nightbot will tell you little cash money because I struggle to remember them. I struggle to remember anything off the top of my head. Never mind a list of computer specs. Any news on Shamrock Valley? It's finished, AS. It's going into frontier testing soon. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those games where they have to release... I think they should release a sample mod map for FS19, and definitely a sample mod. And G 8.0, and that all needs to come ASAP. Like, as soon as they can get all that stuff out, they need to have it out, because if... I've heard a rumor that it might not be out until, like, release day, GE8. And if that's the case, there's going to be a 6-month delay between, you know, the game releasing and mods starting to filter out, or filter through, because there's just so much to learn now. Even for the top guys like BulletBill and Oxygen David, if GE8 doesn't release until November 20th with the game, then that's really gonna cause a couple of big problems with getting mods into the game. You know, you'd be looking at 2 months for any equipment, and anything up to 6 for a map, because number one, maps take a long time to begin with, and number two, there's a lot of learning involved now that is just going to slow things down even more. I should say as well, I do hope to make them... I'm not going to say plan, because the new changes have really kind of thrown a spanner in the works for anybody interested in mapping. I do hope to make a map for FS19 and have one out. It'll be a smallish map. It'll be probably Penberlin size, maybe a bit bigger. Is my plan, and it will be an Irish map, because I'm not making... I don't like making British maps. I applaud Bale and Oxy for making such brilliant British maps, but I just... Being Irish, I've got that affinity for the Irish style. And it's something that sometimes I can't describe, because... Like, how do you describe an Irish farm? Like, it's small and tight, but yet open. Like, the ideal Irish map is small and tight, but open, because there's just these great grand vistas in Ireland. Despite there being hedges and walls and fences and all this stuff that clutters up the countryside, you just get, even on a roadway, these amazingly grand vistas over dozens of miles. Especially if like me, you're living near a mountain and you can go up to the top of the mountain and just sit down on top and stare out over 3 different counties at once. There's very few places in the UK you can do that. A small map which is big but has tight yards but is open is an Irish map. I don't think that's possible to make, you know, the Irish map according to those descriptions. The Deutz is having problems. What's going on with the Deutz? Let's go on a journey! Irish farmers are strange old house. Yeah, and that's... I think, and I've been thinking about it, that's in effect why I've had so much trouble finding an Irish map that I actually like, because on some maps I think they should be one way, on some maps I think they should be another way, and on some maps I think they should be another way again. iRacing hit 2 billion laps last night, and I didn't... The one night that I'm not on iRacing, it hits 2 billion laps. And I bet if I I might do this real quick. I bet if I, why are you going along here? No, you don't need to do that. You can, like, scoot up here and just start from the nearest waypoint, like here. I'm just gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna go into iRacing, which is in my browser, and you can't see any of this. I actually want to see something, because I know what times I would have raced last night. I want to see who I would have raced against, because I know there are a few professional drivers that do play iRacing, and I am in the splits that they would be in. So let's see, that's today's results, the 19th, and I would have been in the 2015 GMT split, a race. I would have raced against anybody of interest. I know none of these names. Good. The 2115 race. This is just me out of interest, because there's a very slim chance that there's a name that I might recognize here. Again, nobody that I recognize, which... These guys are all super fast, holy crap. Oh, that was a really slow weather. What the hell was that? Oh, wow, that was a really weird weather race, okay. And the 2215 GMT race. In which... Oh, Carl was in that race. Cool. Yeah, that was another fast race. Okay, so one of the races had really slow weather for some reason. I say slow weather, by the way, like it's a thing. It is a thing, but oh god, that's gonna crash into the other thingy, isn't it? Stop! You're going on a journey again. Come on. We're going farther up the field again because I don't want you hitting into the other pole. Okay, drive from there. You'll be fine. What is Bill's PC specs? Potato, effectively. If you ask Bill, just potato. Yeah, give mapping a go. Like I said earlier, edit a map first. You know, do tweaks to the West Coast or Lone Oak. Play about with it. There's some stuff that you'll only ever learn as you're making a map yourself. But most of it's pretty straightforward once you get to grips with it. The hardest part is learning how to move in G is the biggest learning curve you'll hit. Hello, Hugh. Oh, that sounds weird. The biggest learning curve in GE is learning to move in GE. Because everything else is kind of iterating off that one idea. And everything else is kind of easy. Blackout, now's the perfect time to start learning the basics. The basics won't change much. They will change, but they won't change so much that you'll have to relearn. Let's see what's... Yeah. That's seeming like it's going to be fun, because I think Intel have changed their chipset recently. Or their port recently. Which might mean which might result in me needing a new motherboard if I want to upgrade my CPU. In like 500 years when I can afford it. Hello, Jack. I should say, by the way, for anybody interested, there we go, English. You might know that I'm looking for work at the moment. I have been applying and applying and applying to jobs, and no luck as of yet, but who knows, maybe in time. And if and when I do get a job, I will continue making content. It'll just be that I'll probably do it on Twitch and just have this channel as a Twitch stream archive repository. Is Ironside Computers any good whatsoever? I have no idea. I've Blackout, I've literally only ever custom built my PCs. Tesco's in like $8.20 an hour. That's not bad. I probably could have got a job in Carphone Warehouse if I'd realised they were calling me that day. Because I'd have a call from a number I didn't know, and yeah, it was actually a job I'd applied for. For 17-year-old with no previous experience, that's good. Try a 26-year-old with no previous experience. I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying to find a bloody job. I say no previous experience. I've got a small bit, but not a lot. You're en route back to Ireland today? Very cool indeed. I'd be able to work full time, Lewis, is kind of the long and the short of it is, this is in effect a hobby that is at the moment my full-time job, but how far am I willing to go for work? I've applied to jobs in the UK, so quite far. Basically, I'd be willing to work anywhere in Europe because it's visa-free. Getting over to the US, no, I don't want the 63 trillion hoops you'd have to jump through. Because I'd have to get a green card, and I'd have to get a visa, and I'd have to actually like get my passport renewed, because I think the US requires you have so long left on your passport, and I'd have to get a background check, and Siemens and swords from medical devices. That would be engineering, though, is the problem. That's kind of where I fall flat, is like the medical device industry, they want engineers. Whereas my qualification isn't in engineering, it's in a lab science. Kind of focused more on microbiology. What about Canada? Same problem as the US, just a million hoops. That's the problem with technicians and lab techs. I can almost guarantee they'll be... I'll have a look, because it'll be on the recruitment board. I can almost guarantee they're looking for engineers. Can I not get a trade? Yeah, that's kind of one thing that I could do, or go back to college and actually get a second degree. Would I work in a meat factory? Well, there's one down the road, but definitely Irish jobs. How did I not get a notification for that then? Because I've got an account in Irish jobs and I've got email alerts set up. But Abdul, to answer your question, probably, yeah, I mean, money is more important to me than smelling nice. And I know for a fact you can just start forgetting that a smell exists, so... My problem, though, is just the lack of experience. This is... How far would I travel? For a meat factory? It'd have to be one of the two in town. Like, I'm applying to lab jobs in the UK, because... Number one, I'd enjoy them a lot more, and number two, they pay well. But for a meat factory, it'd have to be one of the two in town. Merck and Carlo. I'll have a look at Merck and Carlo as well. I know Merck and Waterford aren't taking anybody on at the moment, I don't think. Go look for a local contractor. Thing is agricultural work just doesn't pay. very well at all. And you require a tractor driving license over here. Because there is a contractor taking people out at the moment, but they do require you have a tractor driving license, which I don't have. And I don't have the money to get a tractor driving license. I'd totally do that work though. Because it would, at the end of the day, be money coming in. There's no money in agri, but there's money in contracting. D80 should be refueled soon. Right, that's slightly worrying. In America, yeah, but in Ireland we've got health and safety gone wild, so you need a license. In any case, let's talk about nicer things than how unemployed Dave is, because that's just depressing. Because I'll find a job eventually, and hopefully one that I enjoy, and at the very least, if I don't enjoy it, it'll be money coming in. I'll be able to afford nice things. Like games. Because there's so many games I want to buy that I just can't afford. And DLCs, and add-ons to games, and bits of iRacing, and I just don't have the money. And it's kind of annoying to see, you know, cars that I really like in iRacing that I just can't get. Or series that I really enjoy watching on YouTube and Twitch that I can't afford the car or track for. Or even when they're on a track that I have, I can't afford the cars. Would an i3 work for FS19? Probably, yeah. Especially if it's a higher end i3. Although I would say for gaming, you'd be better off getting an i5. i3. So here's how I'd rank the Intel processors in terms of like what they're useful for. If you're going to do any kind of office work, just using Microsoft Word or just kind of general use computer, for more businessy, officey kind of things, then an i3 is fine. If you want to do any gaming stuff, you're definitely going to need an i5 or an i7. If you want to stream, that kind of knocks the i5 out of there. Nah, you want an i7 because of the hyper-threading. It's super useful for streaming. And that's kind of the hierarchy of Intel. They don't publicize that at all. I think they kind of should. But the long and short of it is, i5 is basically for Microsoft, or i3 is Microsoft Word and that kind of stuff. i5 is for general gaming, just casual gaming, and i7 is for streaming and stuff. And kind of power users. And seeing as I stream and all that kind of stuff, and I'm pretty much a power user of my PC, then I have an i7. Hello, Eddie. You don't want to stream. You say that now, you'll eventually. I find that a lot of people get this. They eventually get this kick that they want to stream. What about Ryzen 2600X? I don't know about AMD. I have no clue about AMD. I am an Intel fanboy. I pretty much only use Intel stuff because it's a lot easier to cool, basically. It's easier to cool and just doesn't throw cores at things until they like give up on trying. AMD's method of making processors is interesting because they throw cores at things until it's beaten into submission. Intel work on like the architecture, AMD just throw more cores at it. You burnt your roll. How did you do that, Eddie? How do you burn a roll in the microwave? Okay. Looks like we will get... Oh, we'll get the baling done today at least, which is a bonus. It's like the safest place on planet Earth. I can imagine. Trying to keep track of the animals here. Pigs need to be clean. Cows need food. Sheep need water. $8,700, 3.2 gigahertz, 4.6 turbo. $301 for nice. That's not bad. Especially with that turbo speed. You were heating. Why were you heating up a roll? What kind of roll requires heating up? Like, okay, breakfast rolls, sure. But like Weetabix drinks. It was. Why was your roll frozen? Eddie, these answers are just raising more questions. You know, if you get AMD or Intel. AMD is cheaper, but tends to be a bit more difficult to cool. Intel is more expensive, but is a lot easier on cooling. And more stuff tends to work better on Intel. Why was your roll in the freezer? Eddie, you're not answering these questions properly. Why was your roll in the freezer? Usually people store rolls in the fridge. Like normal, sane people. Or the press, yes, the press. But like if you want a nice cold roll later on the day, like when it was super hot, we were actually storing our dinners in the fridge here. Like rolls and sandwiches and even salads just in the fridge. You know, when it came to dinner time or time when we were hungry, just pull out the plate of food and ate it cold. Like fridge cold, because it was delicious. So good to just have super cold food on one of the really hot days when it was like 30 degrees. A minute. Did you have the microwave on defrost mode by any chance? Or was it on full? Because you do know microwaves have like a defrost mode. Where they run on reduced power. Hey, Richie. 1,000 watts. I'm just not gonna. You put a frozen roll into a 1,000-watt microwave on full power, and you're upset that the obvious burning of the roll happened. Hey Paul, I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Oh, well, I was doing good until Eddie started stressing me out with his silliness. There was an update to Lone Oak AC. Just fixing a few more little things, I believe. Or I think it was primarily something to do with the console version that, like because it was a push to the console version, it also kind of pushed an update notification on PC, because usually they go together, but no, this is an individual update this time. Where do I put Baler? I'll put the Baler over here. Hey, VF. So let's grab... Actually, I'm going to need to stay in this field over here anyway. So it's time to... How badly does the D80 need fuel, actually? Where is the D80? If it's nearby... It is nearby. Come here, you. How badly do you need refueling? You'll be fine for a while. Your computer parts in the cart and ready on a new egg. Just have to get the money now. That's the hard part. Hey, NHChat. How you doing today, dude? You remember Navesville Multiplayer. Everybody remembers Navesville Multiplayer. For better or worse, everybody remembers that. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bales I'm seeing in this field still. Oh, I've got to turn display on, that's why it wasn't working. And why is that kind of wonky? There we go. So let's grab this. Hey, Bubba, and Lorcan as well. That's not what I... Oh, there it is. Got really confused there for a second. So I'm stopping the mouse and keyboard because when I'm loading, I just find it so much easier to do mouse and keyboard. I don't know why, but it's just a thing. How much was my PC? Too much. Quite honestly. Like, if you want the bluntest of the blunt answers, my PC costs too much. I overbuilt it. Kind of semi-intentionally overbuilt it. Have to watch. Could somebody tell me what the big announcement thing is? Because I've got a butt ton I want to get done tonight again. I always have butt tons I need to do. I need to stop watching Landy's streams and actually get things done, I think. Because it's just... I always find that even though I wake up late in the day and I've got like all night to do things, I always run out of time because like I end up getting distracted by so much stuff. I wonder how many bales I can fit on here if I actually load this correctly. So that's two loaded as closely together as I can get them. Can't do that. I meant after the stream! Oh, do you mean like not watching the streams? See, I don't mind watching or not watching because usually I get told the stuff that happens anyway. If something like important happens, I usually get told about it. I need to reload this bale. It's not on the fork the way that I want it to be. I'm awesome. Yeah, it's arguable. Neurotic's a good word. I like that word to describe me. Idiotic's another good word. That's too low. That's too right. You tell me after stream. Yeah, like I don't mind who tells me. Just somebody tell me because I'm kind of interested. Because I really, really, really want to get a bunch of stuff done and a couple of iRacing races in. And that's probably where I'll be instead of watching almost definitely VF stream. If not Landy's as well, because I didn't race last night. I want to because I'm really enjoying the track the Skippies are on this week. Even though I'm in top split and getting mullered every single race. The likelihood is, guys, most maps you hear about now will be PC only. Just because console maps, especially like people's first maps, like Lewis's, it's so difficult to get stuff onto console. That as you're learning to map, you're better off just releasing PC only and learning from your mistakes, because there will be mistakes. Don't try and get your first map ever. Yeah, that's... Intel like changing their CPU, their port requirements. Which is really annoying if you buy an Intel CPU, because it means basically if you need to upgrade at all ever, you need a new motherboard as well. And that doubles, if not trebles, the cost. Dang it. Oh, hang on, I can just put this Bale where that Bale was and then reload that Bale. La 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 la. I'm pretty sure last time I only got like 3 Bales on side by side, so this could do a lot better. This could be a lot better loaded. Even experienced mappers, Lewis, have problems getting it on console. Like, Bale and Oxy have had problems, so don't feel too bad about releasing PC only for your first map. I think it's a much more realistic option than saying, it's going to be on console, and it's going to be fantastic. And, oh no, I can't actually get it on console because I've made, like, errors from day one that will basically require me to rebuild the map entirely to get it on console. Which is the most common problem I see with maps trying to get on console, is some of them have been built wrong from the beginning. I can't use... I was gonna use muscles mode, but I just realized that's against the rules. So I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, and... I say the old-fashioned way, the really, really awkward way that usually ends up in Bales going everywhere. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work, is it? That's good enough. CVF. Put that Bale up high? No, they'll fit 4 wide. I probably, if I could get it perfect, could get 5 Bales on, but 4 is gonna be enough. If there's no scripts, does that mean it's the same regulations as PC? The thing is that some scripts are best installed on day one. Some scripts are just plain easier to install if you don't have the map finished. Like multi-terrain angle, I tried installing it into a couple of maps and just ran into brick walls of various problems, which could just have been me not knowing how to install it correctly, but you know, some scripts just will not work unless they're in the map from day one. And models too, yeah, I've seen plenty of fails because they've decided to use FS13 era models that just don't use the right texture formats anymore, or just have too many polys, or you know, sometimes you have to rebuild entire areas of the map just because the models aren't within the requirements anymore. They may have been, you know, they were fine for FS15, but trying to get stuff onto console is kind of by this. Is that a Bale over there? Hang on. Is that a Bale? Oh no, that was a rock. And yeah, some default stuff doesn't work on console for some reason. Some of the bizarre errors console have, the BulletBill and Oxygen David have been kind enough to share with me, are kind of hilarious. Where it's like default giant stuff just not being a thing. Or stuff that's default on PC just for one reason or another, usually optimization, not being a thing on console. Because the consoles are very limited in what they can actually do. And it's a bit of a shame. I kind of wish consoles were more powerful, but they'd be a lot more expensive if they were. It's one of the reasons a good gaming PC is super expensive. Newer motherboards. They've all motherboards have sound cards built in pretty much. The sound card requirement is just letting you know that there is sound in the game and you'll kind of requirement. Or you'll kind of require it. Like, I don't actually have a soundboard per se in my PC. I use the motherboard's onboard sound card, run it through for my headphones. This is how I run my PC. My motherboard's onboard sound card is running a pair of speakers. That pair of speakers have a headphone port. And I'm using that headphone port to run my headphones. And the reason I do it that really long convoluted way is the speakers kind of act as a filter for any electrical noise. I could run the headphones directly, but when I'm like here by myself, when like everybody's gone for the weekend, I will quite regularly just take the headphones out and like watch videos with the speakers on and really enjoy that. Especially if it's something like Le Mans, which I was watching this year. I had that on speakers, I think. And I was just chilling out watching races. Because if you didn't know, guys, I am a big motor racing fan. I absolutely love it. The iRacing Spa 24 Hours is on this weekend. I'll probably watch a decent bit of that. Even those GT3s. And I kind of prefer the downforce cars in iRacing. Personal preference. That little Deutz is still just soldiering away. I will probably just FYI swap the plow back to something a bit more same, because that one's a bit too small, I think. Because that Deutz has been working away in there for hours. I'm going to ignore those bales in the shed for now. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over to field 10 and just start getting bales out of field, which I think is a bit more of a higher priority than kind of faffing about and trying to get stuff out of sheds. So let's unstrap these bales and run back over to the load-all as chat drops silent. Let's grab the load-all. Is the cheating potato? Yes, that went at the end of the last stream. The potato idea was a good one in theory, but in practice, oh my god, was that painful. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream today, feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra fat and sassy, hit the sponsor button as well. Although maybe you should donate to BulletBill's PayPal before you hit the sponsor button or any of the money buttons for me. Because if it wasn't for BulletBill or RainbowDave or any other fantastic mappers out there, you'd be watching me on Sosnovka or Gorkris Valley or Estancia La Pacha. Instead of the West Coast or Oakfield or Lone Oak. Without mappers, the game wouldn't be interesting. Without modders in general, the game wouldn't be interesting. If there were no modders, there'd be no Lodol. If there were no modders, there'd be no West Coast. There'd be no Glance, there'd be no Seasons. There'd be no better minimap. There'd be none of these sheds. Even stuff as small as the sheds has to be made by somebody somewhere. If there were no modders, literally none of this equipment would be here. Actually, I think the only two default items I'm using, just double checking, apart from the Combine and its equipment, that's all default. Yeah. So, the default equipment I'm using on this map, that bucket. I'm gonna count the Bison and the header as default equipment because they are made by giants. This Bale trailer, or not Bale trailer, this header trailer. That's not default equipment. This water trailer. That's a mod. And this bale fork. It's all the giants equipment I'm using. So simulate cut down the Lone Oak. Maybe he was bored and trying to troll his subscribers. All the tractors are default? None of them are. All the tractors I'm using are mods. They were at one point made by giants, but they've been converted by a modder. If mods didn't exist, then that modder wouldn't have made that mod. I wouldn't have converted the old timer pack or the classics pack, farming classics. If modding didn't exist, this loadout wouldn't be here. 90% of the stuff you find enjoyable in Farm Sim, guys, is mods, or was at one point a mod. You know, terrain response was a mod. Crop destruction was a mod. Tire dirt, not so much. That's a new one. That's something the Giants came up with. It's actually really interesting as an idea. I need to load this bale differently because it's at the end of the line. If Farm Sim were to lose modders and modding in general, 90% of the stuff you guys and I like would be gone overnight. The game just wouldn't. I don't think it would survive without modding. Like, modding is an integral part of Farm Sim just as much as tractors are. Just as much as the terrain is in a map. If Farm Sim didn't have modders, it wouldn't be successful. That's why mods are on consoles now. Giants know what people want. And people want mods. And people want John Deere, so Giants got John Deere. If it's the person I'm thinking you're talking about, Adam, their excuse is, or was, because I have seen him using a mod map lately, which is very interesting. His excuse has been always that mod maps would ruin his game, which is comical because he uses terrible mods to begin with. What's my favorite mod? Can I say the Modern Classics DLC? Because, like, according to Giants, it's a mod. Because it's third party. If I can't say Modern Classics, then I'd have to go with Peter J's Massies or the T-Dubs. I'd actually probably go with the T-Dubs. If I can't say the Modern Classics DLC. Because this is just like so far ahead of any other mods in FS17. And yes, I am excluding the 135, you know, my favorite tractor, because there are better mods. As biased as I am towards liking 135s, there are better mods out there than the 135 that I love. Favorite map? I've got two answers for this, so I'll give you both. In terms of like how it feels and how it plays for me, Culbra by about 3 miles. But in terms of like technical achievements, it's going to change soon. But right now it's Lonoke because BulletBill managed to pull off some magic on that map. Just pure magic, because some of the stuff he's done I didn't think was even possible. Now that is, I've said that's going to change. And that's going to change because Frontier Designs as a mod team, both BulletBill and Oxygen David, are always learning. And they're always sharing what they learn with each other. So Shamrock Valley is going to take the most technically impressive map title away from Lonoke. Of that I have no doubt. And the friendly rivalry between BulletBill, and it is a friendly rivalry, they are friends, before anybody thinks that I'm trying to create drama. The friendly rivalry between BulletBill and Oxygen David will continue to see who can make the best map, because the one-upmanship will continue, probably long into FS19 and until one or both of them quits modding, which, with the way the community reacts, may be sooner rather than later. Don't fall off the dang it! Can't wait for Shamrock Valley. Neither can I. I think everybody in Ireland and the UK in general is looking forward to seeing what... And I don't mean to be mean here. What happens when you make an Irish map and you know the ins and outs of the really detailed stuff with modding? Because a lot of the Irish maps are made by people who know what they want to make and maybe don't understand the more technical aspects or the more detailed aspects of modding, like the fact that most of map making is compromises and kind of overcoming the limits of the game. Oh hey, look, I've struck the Bale now. Yeah, no, let's not listen to this song, thanks. For Frontier, I've always associated them with good mods. Like, they were, and I think still are, the two best mappers in Farm Sim. Because they can just do magic with a map. The stuff they can do, some of it shouldn't be possible. There's certain things Oxy could have done to make it more accurate. Give me examples, Bucko. Because I can say like whether or not that's your ideas are feasible or even possible in the game. Because remember, you have to make compromises to suit the way the game has to run. Round roof sheds. Do you know what, Coco? Around where I am, and a lot of the places I've seen, have a mix of round and square roofs, and I'd actually say that the more square roof sheds are actually more common now. Because they're cheaper to make and take less material. So, I'm kind of gonna have to disagree with you on the shed argument. No, 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 don't, come off, please. No, 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 no. Sit down. I'm gonna keep those strapped because I don't trust the trailer anymore. Hey, Fortnite and football. Oh god, that trailer's looking disgraceful. I apologize for the state of that Bale trailer. I actually apologize for how badly stacked that trailer is. It was going well up until I started doing this side of things and everything went wrong. Hang on, can you... I swear I saw this bale move. You can lock the individual bales now? I thought it just locked everything solid. It used to. I was unaware Giants made that change. So I'm going to do this the lazy way, because it's easier to just bring one piece of equipment around the map. I say the lazy way, it's probably the more accurate way, because I have seen people do this in real life. Where they attach the bale trailer to the loader. It's not good for the engine on this thing. It's probably a bit heavy for this thing, because the engine in this is in the back and all the weight is in the back as a counterweight. But we'll give it a go nonetheless. Yeah, wow, this is pulling quite badly. When I say pulling quite badly, it's actually pulling to the left. We have a 4x4 baler in FS19. I'd like to see a Heston. Like, more than any other style baler, Heston needs to be in. Because Hestons are kind of, in a way, quickly becoming the standard for balers. Quadrant style, yeah, they're common enough. But I would say Hestons are becoming more popular. Topper actually fell off. I've seen an entire bale trailer empty in real life. Like, you might think that I know nothing about farming, or that I've never been on a farm, by the way. Because I keep saying, oh, I don't live on a farm or whatever. No, I've been on farms. I've been in fields where farmers were working. Don't think that I know nothing. When I was younger, I went to a friend's house, and he lived in front of I don't know if it was a wheat or a barley field, but a field that had straw bales in, round straw bales, maybe 4.5, 5 foot bales. And the farmer was picking them up, loading them up onto a trailer. Went up the field, because it was a bit of a slopey field. Went up the field and took a turn a bit too tight, and the bales all fell off because they weren't strapped down. Every single bale on that trailer fell off. All of them. And I couldn't see the farmer. Couldn't see his face, couldn't see his body language. But I could see the tractor. And the way that tractor was handled after the bales fell off. I'm going in the wrong direction, aren't I? Yes, I am going in the wrong direction. But the way the tractor was handled after the bales fell, you can kind of tell that was just pure, unadulterated rage powering the tractor after that. Because he'd wasted probably 20 minutes, half an hour of his life stacking these bales really nice and neatly, only for them to fall off the trailer. Also, I'm stuck in a tree. There we go. Gonna do some real professional farming here and just reverse up the road. Probably a lot of swearing. I would imagine so, yes. So, 8 at 6 is 14 bales. I'm gonna... How many bales do I want to store? If I need 50 minimum. So if I need 50 minimum, I'd want to be storing 25 minimum in each yard. So if I bring 2 trailer loads to the cows and then 2 trailer loads to the pigs, that'll be 28 bales at each, which is 56 bales. Which is more than what I actually need to be within the rules. So 2 trailer loads to the cows, 2 trailer loads to the pigs. I'll stack them up at each in a shed, and we'll call that good-o. Just when you thought I don't actually plan things out, I actually start coming up with a plan live on stream. Oh my god, this is so tail happy. All of the weight is on the back of this thing, so it's just so tail happy. A lot of people use this trailer. Yeah, I'm not complaining about the trailer, by the way. I'm complaining about my stupid idea to put the trailer onto the load-all, because the load-all is rear heavy already, and I've put probably like 6 or 7 tons worth of bales on the already heavy back of the load-all. So something that was already heavy and already going to be a bit tail happy has been made heavier and more tail happy by an idiot. So that's what I'm kind of whining about, is my own stupid idea. Before anybody thinks that I'm whining about the game, no, it's my own stupid idea. It makes complete sense. CD's duty trailer's nice. You use that a lot. I'm gonna like graduate over time to bigger and bigger bale trailers. The reason I'm using this one is it's one of the smaller ones I could find, and also one of the nicer looking small ones. Oh, thank you. And in a strange twist, I'm going to eat on stream because I've just been having food. Oh my god, that looks delicious. So I am going to eat on stream today because I'm hungry. Just look at what I've got for dinner. Look at that. Look at how delicious that chicken looks. Also, I did get a bit scared by... Whoa! The door was open behind me. I didn't notice. I turned around and there's a box in my face. So I'm gonna have chips and chicken. Oh, they're good chips. They are really nice chips. Wow. Okay. I want to finish this job as much as I can today, so I'm not just going to end the stream. Oh. I've also got a can of Coke. Oh yes, the speed up this hill is insane. Just look at the sheer power this is gonna do a wheelie, isn't it? Yep. I should probably turn on four-wheel drive in hindsight. Actually, looking at it, yeah, that's probably a really good idea. Just give the front end a bit more bite. Speaking of bite, KFC. This isn't KFC. This is from my local takeaway. Judging by the box, at least. Oh my god. Oh wow. Fat Irish man eats on stream. That chicken is delicious, oh my god. Snack box! Okay, I need to find out what that actually is because it's not what I usually get. And I'm going to be getting that a bit more often because it's delicious. Local chipper's always the nicest. Usually, yeah. It's definitely better than McDonald's because the McDonald's usually arrives cold. Which is why when I get McDonald's, I basically stop the stream because the food's already cold. I don't want it to go much colder, so I just basically pour it into my mouth. This is actually piping hot. So in keeping with the rules, the bales are going into a shed. We're going under, you know, a covered area at least. No, get off the wheel loader, please. Wheel loader, telehandler, load all. Thing. Yuck, McDonald's. I would say that, but the McDonald's chicken nuggets are delicious, so meh. You want a shed like that in Shamrock Valley? I can probably talk to Oxy. Thing is, Oxy like remade real farms, so the sheds are basically what is there in real life. Granted, the farms aren't, you know, the map is fictional, but the yards are not. They're just, I guess, randomly chosen. I haven't spoken to him about where he found the yards, but they are like real life yards that he chose. Supermax is better. I'm gonna agree with you there. The Supermax Chicken Supremes. Is it chicken or chicken tenders and Supermax? Oh my god, are they delicious. Had them when I was in Dublin not too long ago, and ooh, so good. Looks so much like. I'm with you there, TMCC. It reminds me of West Cork. At least areas do. Other areas remind me of East Waterford. So I think Oxy's done a really good job with a nondescript kind of Irish coastal area kind of map. Is there a Supermax on Shamrock? I don't think so, no. There is the controversial Tesco's, though. The most controversial petrol station in farm sim history. Let's grab... I can't grab 2 bales. Because I need to grab off the top to get the bale on the right. So let's grab... Let's load the top first, I guess. And then we can unload in pairs after that. You think East Cork? So kind of the Youghal area. I'm more kind of towards the Baltimore Skibbereen kind of area. When I look at certain parts of the map. Because that's where I used to go as a kid, and it just brings back memories. Even though, like, I looked up the area on Google Maps, and the area that it reminds me of looks nothing like that in real life. You're from Kilkenny, hello, Carl. I'm from Tip, and being a fatto, because I've got lovely chicken, I think these are goujons or tenders or something, sat beside me. And they're delicious. Zero complaints about that. Normally I'd be like really annoyed if I was handing food in the middle of a stream, but not that good. That is delicious. The D80 slipping it. What has the D80 found to hit this time? I can actually tab over to it to see what's going on. How? How did you do this? Oh, because this is a separate little bit of the... Okay. That is of no help whatsoever. So can I get you onto, like, the headlands, please? No, not the... Not that, but the headlands. No, not... I wish you could choose like a specific waypoint from a list. Where's it going? Where is it going? I'm just waiting for that meme to start off rolling on. Because people will start saying that. And I can say with some certainty that nobody has FS19 at the moment because it's not finished. It is an interesting name, yeah. So let's get that Bale sorted out there. Fandabidoozy. Let's just extend this so that it can fit in through the little gap here. Kind of. Fit through the little gappy. Little gappy fit. Oh, it does fit. It's just that the gappy isn't as big as I thought it was. I could probably fit like this. Yeah, more or less. It's just occurred to me that I'm trying to go about this backwards. I should really be... It's just occurred to me that it's probably going to be easier to get tight turns done if I try and do it like this. Without, you know, the top of the shed getting in the way. There we go. Bale's causing a lot of trouble for me. Bales always do. Round bales in particular. There's a reason I rarely do round bales. I struggle with them so much. That's why normally, like under normal circumstances, when I'm not doing some sort of challenge or some weird experimental idea that I come up with so often, you'll see me primarily using squares, and I'm gonna kind of graduate to squares on this map. So there will be a period where the bale rule will be kind of ignored in a way as I transition into square bales for straw and hay. Decent sized square bales. I'll probably use the D1000. Just because they're just so much easier to deal with. Come on, get off the spike, you get. There you go. I don't think we'll do in the All-Ireland. Are Tip still in it? I thought Tip were out of both. I've only used the D1000 in testing. And by testing I mean my own testing to see how it works, how it looks, how it behaves. The fact that it struggles with autoloaders is why don't you use a Bale forward with an auto stacker built in? It's against the rules. I'm not allowed to use auto stackers of any descriptions. Tipper out of hurting. We're out of football too, I thought. I don't think Tipper in any All-Irelands at the moment. How much litres does the D1000 hold? The D1000 bales are 2,500 litres if memory serves. How's that for bale maneuvering? Using the side of the bale fork. And now we get to the relatively easy bit, which is going to be double movements. Nobody knows about anything. Good! To be fair, I don't tend to follow sports ball at all, so it's hardly a surprise that I have no idea what's going on in hurling and or football. Yeah, Tipper gone. Thank you, Bucko, for the information. There we go. In real life, is this even possible to do like 2 bales at once with this load all? Considering it's the S25- or 525-67 load all, which I think is the oldest model. Come on, get down. Oh, that'll do. You have pizza? Very nice. Smaller than regular. Yeah, there are different sizes as well. Which is why they have trouble with autoloaders. Where's Tipping from? South Tip. That's all the information I'll give there. I'm quite secretive because I don't want people coming and stalking me and stuff. Hey, what, Brian? You'd say it handle too? I want to think it could. I mean, it is a fairly sizable machine. How did that happen? Like, it's probably about the same size as the Merlot, so... and that can handle too. Pretty easily, in fact. So, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't. I need to realign because this bale just didn't go down otherwise. You have to go. See you, Black Hat. I've seen people do it with old JCB backhoes and front loaders, so you don't see why not. Ah, yeah. If old backhoes and front loaders can handle it, then this definitely can. Because this thing is built to be... Well, it's built for farm work, isn't it? Even some of the newer JCB loaders just aren't built for... I want to say this kind of punishment, because... Like... Yeah, they're made for construction, but construction can at times be a lot less difficult on machinery than agriculture. As strange as it might sound. I figured that Bale would go weird. And there's no way I can fix it. That Bale's just gonna stay weird because it doesn't want to work. Where did I get the name RainbowDave? It's a couple of old nicknames from friends, basically. Do you know what? Seeing as I'm only needing 2 trailers worth, it's not actually a bad idea to just put a stack of straight up bales in front of the existing stack. Because I only need another trailer load to have all the bales I should need for the cows. What is the tang? I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever what a tang is. If somebody wants to hit Landy up, by the way, and let him know he can go live early, feel free. Because I'm really enjoying this food and I want to focus on it a bit more. A tang is like a yoke. Don't ask that here, then. If yoke is what I think you mean, don't ask that. I do apologize for eating on stream, by the way, but I am quite hungry. And this is a solution. That man eating on stream. Delicious chicken and chips. No, not that kind of yolk. Okay, then. An agri-tang. What? I'm confused now. I keep thinking Landy's gone to FarmCon. No, because he's gone to the lorries or cars. Why didn't you just say runabout? No, I don't have any of those. I have, I think, 3 tractors, maybe 4, and a load all. And the load all I'm currently using as a tractor, because it's actually a bit easier than using a tractor. Especially for the work I'm doing with it, which is just bale loading and moving bales. Granted, it's slow, but so are my tractors right now. Am I from Ireland? Yes. Allegedly. It has also been alleged that I'm from the UK, and America, and France. And occasionally Norway. But yes, I am from Ireland. So, before you ask the question, Jack, yes, I am looking forward to Shamrock Valley. I'm looking forward to getting my grubby mitts all over that thing. Looks amazing. I'm really excited for it. Chips. Don't forget Russia. How can I forget that time that I confused the crap out of somebody by putting on my accents? I'm Jacksepticeye's long lost cousin. I do actually have, like, I'm not gonna kid you guys, I do have a cousin who does YouTube videos. I'm not gonna say his name, but his videos are weird. I've showed them to Landy and Sim, and yeah, he's a different kind of person. He scares me with how bizarre he is. So, one of the big changes coming in FS19 that we know of is to do with missions. And the way they're going to work, seemingly, is instead of just being presented with equipment and told, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do the field with. You can bring your own equipment to the fields and do the missions. And from what Sim was saying to me, I think it was last night, the time limit's being removed, and it's going to be straight up contracting. Instead of the current method, which is magic equipment spawns and somebody too lazy to do the work themselves. That's the channel. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say, but he's seemingly like a minor celebrity to some communities, and it's kind of hilarious. Hello, Keelan Casey. I thought that for sale sign over there was actually a Bale, and I was really confused. So let's continue with the Bale stacking. This is one of the reasons I'm using the load odds. Less swapping between machines. So now that I know something I didn't before I started the stream, which is that the machinery does actually, or the straps do actually lock down individual bales. I thought it locked down the entire trailer at once. I will actually start using the straps a bit more often. Do I shout for any hurling team? Tip. And even then, barely. I don't particularly care for sports in general. I'm more interested in motorsports and motor racing. And even then, it's just for the interest of knowing how difficult most of the tracks are, and watching just the skill of the drivers involved and how close they can get to each other without crashing. Most of the time. No! Is he a big channel? I don't know how many subs he has, actually. Nor do I care. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've got food. Fat boy need food. The Bale thing has been here for literally ever. What? Oh, locking down individual bales? At the beginning of the game, it locked down the entire trailer, and that's why I was never using it. That's why I never manually stacked. I didn't realize you could lock down the individual bales. Rules are basically don't be... Actually, the rules are up like 3 messages from you trying to get the rules, Thomas. Just don't be an ass is basically what the rules are. And speak English. And don't bug modders or YouTubers, because oh my god, this is coming from me, and I know I complain a lot, but like, if I go into somebody's stream, I'm in there to chill out and relax. I don't appreciate being asked like a million questions about stuff. It only does that when you're in cab and you press L. See, I thought even putting the one strap on caused it all to lock, so I have learned. I really think I could fit 5 round bales on at the bottom. I don't think I can, but I think I can. I just contradicted myself quite hilariously. Where do I live? Ireland. Also on the internet. I think it's possible to fit 5 round bales at the bottom. Where is it? No, it's not. There's not enough room for the 5th bale. Nowhere near enough room. What are the rules for the challenge? If you put exclamation mark insanity into chat, you'll get the rules. It's like a Google Doc. Because it was too long for one single chat message. And it's easier to just have a Google Doc. I know some people like using, speedrunners especially like using Pastebin. I don't like Pastebin. I think it's really hard to read Pastebins. So I made a Google Doc. Because it looks nicer. I could also have made like this really hilariously long image in Photoshop to put an imager, but again, difficult to read more than likely. That's why I got the insanity tag at the bottom of the screen, so you guys can find the rules. It is, I think, one of the most difficult ways to play Farm Sim, if not the most difficult. Because pretty much everything you got to do manually. I am granted using Courseplay to do the boring stuff like ploughing for hours on end. But you'll notice that I'm doing a lot of the work by myself. Not using any of the scripts or things to help. Just, well, for the most part, I did auto-load some bales. Due to a rain shower that meant I needed to get the bales in as quickly as possible. D80 must be refueled. Hang on, must be refueled. It's on 4% fuel. Oh dear. Do I have a fuel Bowser? I don't think I do. It's maybe an oversight. If it runs out of fuel, it runs out of fuel. Screw it. I can shove it into the yard and get it to the fuel point if I need to. It's a lot easier to just keep it on in the field plowing until it just runs out of fuel. I know that's a bit mean to the poor tractor, but when the Courseplay course is so finicky that it took me 20 minutes today to figure out where on earth I even wanted to start. Well, it took me longer, several attempts before I could figure out where I actually wanted to start the damn thing. Then it's yeah, definitely a lot easier to just let it run dry and hope that it's gonna be finished by the time it's empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, I'm short. Tried doing conventionals, then yeah. Before there was a conventional autoloader, I tried that as well, and I think it ended up with me going into the XML and just deleting the bales. Because conventionals are just bad to deal with by hand. It's actually why I've made the exception in the rules for conventionals. Because they just don't stack. They just don't hand stack at all. There we go. And as well as that, conventionals are just so small that there are too many of them to realistically hand stack. Like when even the smallest autoload trailers can carry upwards of 100 conventionals, you know that you got too many. Like, you know they're too small to realistically do anything with. Like the Bale, little Far APN Baler from the Farming Classics pack. there is no autoloader to go with that, so you're better off not using it. As much as I'd love to use it, there's no way of getting the bales out of the field in a sane manner. So you're better off just not using it. What are maps? I think there's going to be two distinct classes of maps in 19. This is kind of my initial impression without really any information, so, you know, take this with a pinch of salt. I think we'll see two different classes of maps. We'll see the in situ yard maps, where you know, they're kind of the maps that we see today already, where the yards are pre-built and all this kind of stuff, and they're all kind of not the placeable class, which is how the build your own yards is going to work. The one the classic pack makes different bales entirely, Adam, so no autoloader in the world will work. And I think we'll also see maps where it's the build your own yard style, where the yards are actually placeables, and you can work from that. Now, I think, this is just with no information whatsoever, I think the build your own yard style that becomes the dominant style. I think that'll be fantastic for roleplay. I'll be very honest. I think it's going to open up so much for roleplay that it's going to kind of change the game to almost favoring roleplay series. Because the way the game is now, it's easy to do roleplay to a certain extent, but you have to make concessions. You've discussed loads of different ideas for placeable in the future. I have no doubt of that, Oxy. But I do think that we'll see two different classes of maps. We'll see the in situ class and the build your own class, in a way. Especially with how things are looking at this specific point in time. Or we'll have kind of hybrids where there's like a main yard that is unchangeable, and then you can like buy secondary yards and stuff like that and build them. And it's really going to be interesting to see how map making changes. But I really think that that mechanic in particular is going to even hedges. Yeah, that's going to be really nice. The big concern I have, and I can't remember who said it, but somebody else said it, this isn't something that I've come up with on my own. How close are you going to be able to put those things together? Have they resolved the issue where there's this big dead zone around existing placeables as things stand, or existing sheds as things stand, where you just can't do anything with it? Because if they haven't, then you'll have yards that are very bizarre looking on UK and Irish maps, where there's like maybe 3 sheds in a silo. Just because of the little dead zones that FarmSim puts in. That said, I think it's a good, like, overall, looking at it right now with no real tangible information on it, I think that mechanic is going to be a good one. I think it's good for the game. That it's kind of a game changer. It's moving people and allowing for more playstyles and more interesting playstyles. So it's very hard to complain about it. But there are a lot of questions that still need to be answered. And hopefully in the coming months, next 4 months or so, they will be answered. Because, and hopefully before release they're answered anyway. Because they're questions we need the answers to number 1, for the mappers, to figure out how maps are going to work. Number 2, for YouTubers, to figure out how to start planning kind of our first Let's Plays of the game. What style do we want to go with? And number 3, for just general players to know and get a better idea of how the game's going to handle. Right now, everybody's kind of aiming for the same playstyle, 17. I don't think that's going to be a thing. I think you're going to have to change things up a bit. I like that. I like having to change playstyles. That's why I do these challenges. That's why I do the roleplays. That's why I do such a bizarre, eclectic mix of different styles of things in Farm Sim. Is just because I find having the one playstyle all the time really boring. Why is Landy not live yet? I've just realised. I've just spotted the time. Landy! Landy kid! You're late! My food's going cold because of him. I need something to watch while I eat as well. But if you ever wondered, hang on, probably. If you ever wondered, like looking through my channel, why every few months things just suddenly change and the way that I do things changes in game, it's because, quite honestly, I get bored over time with the way that I play something. And I think the way that I'm doing things now with kind of a very weird mix of this, the challenge series, Lone Oak, the just messing about with huge equipment series, and I haven't forgotten about the Cobra series, which is a very difficult to do realistic series, and I do have a 4th series coming soon that I started scripting last night, which is going to be a scripted series. And it won't just be in Farm Sim, but it's going to be... That's definitely going to be something that I'll only be able to realistically bring out like once a month. Just looking from through the first page and the first initial notes for my script. I've already got about an hour of recording time required and set up, and that's just for the first possibly as little as 2 minutes of the video. Is probably a couple of hours. Chelmington will be back for 19, nothing like the old one. That's probably a good thing. Landy's live. Is he actually live? Can I have further confirmation of this? Because if he is live, I get to finish my chicken. Well, Quentin being it, that would be telling. Suffice it to say, I have some really interesting ideas. And I'm not sure how exactly they're going to work. Like I said, I've only got like the first page of scripting done, and that's not very long. He's on countdown now. Hello Archie, you've come at the wrong time, I'm afraid. Because we are finishing up now. Landy's gone live. I'm going to finish. I like filling the time in between when I'm supposed to finish and when he actually finally goes live, the lazy git. So I will leave you guys by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching the Insanity Challenge in Farming Simulator 17. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay safe. And goodbye.